second annual Pabst Scratch Spring Shootout, sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer and Viking Lanes, where friends and fun meet, with a first place prize of $500 guaranteed. Co-sponsored by these area businesses.
Welcome to Viking Lanes and the second annual Pabst Scratch Shootout. Although this is the second annual, it is our first tournament on TV, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Bob Chips, proprietor of Viking Lanes, our tournament directors, Wayne LaVelle, who is also in the finals, Dave Cliffe, Mike Cormany, and Larry Greisman, who will be helping me on the broadcast. And we'll turn this over to Bob.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank Pabst, who helped bring this tournament to the state line area and give the state line bowlers something that we've hoped for a long time. And before I leave, I want to thank Joe Genovese, who donated a lot of time here to make this tournament go off. My directors, Wayne LaVelle, Dave Cliffe, Mike Cormany, Larry Greisman. Without those people, something like this would never go off, and with that kind of backing, you can only make it better every year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. We're going to start this out by letting everyone know about 4 hours ago, 60 of the area's best bowlers started this tournament in 6 games of qualifying. The qualifying was 6 games. The idea was to be one of the top 5 total pinfall, and that's where we're at right now. The format is the same as the Pro Bowlers Tour, with the number 5 bowler bowling the number 4 bowler, who will then, the winner will then go to number 3, right to number 2, and on to number 1. And we'll be back to introduce these bowlers after a few important messages from our local sponsors. Bowling in the 5th position from Janesville, Wisconsin, averaging 225, Jack Hiemel. And in the 4th position from Beloit, Wisconsin, averaging 226, Dean Sanda. In the 3rd position from South Beloit, Illinois, averaging 226, Wayne LaVelle. And in the 2nd position from Beloit, Wisconsin, averaging 229, Ray Grignon. And our tournament leader from Roscoe, Illinois, averaging 236, Nick Banno. We're back at Viking Lanes with the first match of our tournament between Dean Sanda and Jack Hiemel. Dean will throw the first ball of the tournament on lane 15, I'm sorry. Not too bad of a way to start. I'm here this first game with our color person, Mike Cormany. Mike's been with us all day long watching these gentlemen bowl, and obviously both averaging in the 220, 225 area. They've thrown the ball very well. Jack up on lane 16. And he matches Dean Sanda. This is the way it's been all day, ladies and gentlemen. The bowlers obviously have bowled quite well to make the finals. And I believe Jack is our only lefty.
Left-hander,
right, Mike?
Only left-hander in the field.
Jack from Janesville, Wisconsin, very well known in the state line area. Be throwing his second frame on lane 15. Looks good. It is. Both bowlers starting out very well. We had a nice crowd throughout the qualifying, which started at about 11 o'clock this morning. We're here with Dean Sanda up on lane 16 to try to match Jack Hiemel's first 2 strikes. A little bit high. And we got a break.
Big break, big break.
Big break with that 7-pin kicking out. Crowd has been very good all through the qualifying, and we have a nice crowd here for the finals. these bowlers had almost identical scores throughout the qualifying. Oh, threw it out a little bit, didn't come back. At this point, it looks like he's going to be around 20 pins behind after 2 frames, depending on what Jack Hiemel does in the 3rd frame. Dean Sanda up on lane 15. Looks good. Oh, high again. I think, Mike, what Dean has done is let up a little bit on
Yes, he has.
those last 2 shots. This might be a situation here where he just takes, although he has nothing to lose on count, I think bowling against a gentleman like Mr. Hiemel, he better take the 2 pins and hope for the best later.
Take the 2 and get as close as he can.
And 2 of the 4 pins. For Dean, we have 36 in the 3rd, and Jack Hiemel 2 strikes in the first 2 frames. He can take a commanding lead here if he throws this 3rd strike. Looks like Jack hasn't lost anything off his qualifying round.
Nah, Jack's got a little more experience too bowling, I think, than Dean did. Dean showed a little tight up there.
It might be. This could be one of the first major tournaments that Dean has qualified for, where a lot of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Jack Hiemel. He has 2 300 games to his credit, numerous 700s with a high of 785. He's up on lane 15 now in the 4th frame. If it carries, a little bit high for a 6 pin. We can figure this out real quick. That'll give Jack about a 30, let me see, 59, 79.
31 pins? 31 pin lead?
Yeah, 43 pin lead. 43 pins if he converts, right?
79, 43, right.
Like I was saying, Jack with 2 300 games to his credit, 785 high series. And he's got the spare. Also, to Jack's credit, he has a league average of 222, but his current average is 232. It's not too bad. Dean Sanda up on lane 16 going into the 4th frame, and he definitely needs some strikes now. There he made the adjustment, but swung it just a little bit wide.
Pretty good adjustment.
Yeah, it was a good adjustment. I think the last thing Dean wanted to do was throw another split.
Yeah, he didn't need to hit the head pin real high again.
Hopefully he can get his spare here and get on the way. Dean married with 2 children, about 28 years old. He's been bowling 21 years. So that goes to show you can
Hurry.
He got that shot in the oil, and it didn't come up.
Definitely needs to step back, take a deep breath, and try to get it all together.
I think you're right. He's just a little nerves, maybe. Sometimes when you go through the qualifying and you bowl as well as you do, we've had about a half-hour to 45-minute break here, and if you don't come out of the chute just right, sometimes it's hard to recover. That's a little bit high with the 310. He's going to have to fit this in between the 310, which means if he hits the 3 pin just a little bit to the right, the ball should carry through and hit the 10, or you can get lucky like I used to and pop the 3 pin over there, right?
Slide the 3 into the 10.
There's 3 or 4 different ways. We've seen them all.
Got a hook.
A little bit wide.
No.
Okay. Dean with 54 in the 5th. That not at all indicative of the way Dean can bowl. An excellent bowler with a high game of 288. He's been bowling 21 years. Highest league average 209, and that at this present time it is averaging 209 and bowls in 3 leagues a week. Jack with a good ball, but a 7 pin, a little bit weak. Not a bad ball. It could have went, but
a little wider that time.
A little bit outside. Well, Mike, you kept score, or I shouldn't say you kept score, you kept track of all the qualifying. We had a lot of high games bowled. See if I can test your memory. Quite a few games over 279, or over in the 270s?
I think there was 2 games in the 270s. 279 and 277.
Nice cross lane shot by Jack Hiemel. And that gives him 98 in the 4th. He has a pretty commanding lead right now, and
55 pins is it?
55 pins. There's no doubt if Dean is going to get back in this game, he's going to have to start throwing strikes, and he's going to need some help from Jack with a few opens, because I've seen Jack before. He doesn't have that many opens in a game. Nice ball there. Really solid strike for Jack.
Back in there.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Dean's going to have to make his move right now.
He needs all strikes. He has no room for any other thing but a strike right at this point in the game.
And before Dean throws his next ball, we would like to thank some of the following co-sponsors for making this televised portion of this tournament possible. Blackhawk Rental and Video, South Beloit, Illinois. Brill Jewelers, Beloit, Wisconsin. And Bruiser's Restaurant, Beloit, Wisconsin. There's a nice ball. That there is more the Dean we were watching earlier today.
A lot better ball.
And I guess you definitely cannot judge the young man on his game he's got going right now, because he is a fine bowler, or he would not be in this position. And it just makes everyone realize sometimes that some of the best sometimes have their bad days, and this just had to be a bad start. When you get off to a bad start against a guy like Jack, it makes it tough.
Real tough.
Let's see if we can get this one in. It looks good. There we go. Nice job there.
He sucked it up real good.
And this really just shows you how good this young man is, because when you are down that far, it's tough to come back and start throwing strikes. And those 2 balls there were very indicative of his ability. Jack up on lane 16. There's another one. See, and that's the kind of bowler Jack is. He doesn't want to let Dean think he's even going to have a chance of coming at him. So,
as Dean can shoot his 204.
And Jack right
is
now
well into the 240s right now.
Yeah. Yeah, one more would give Jack 240 game. I think we're in a position where if Jack gets 1 or 2 marks, it's pretty much over. And we have to judge that mathematically, because I've seen some awful great comebacks. That might be a little high.
A little high. Got a good break on that.
Yeah.
Real good break.
Definitely got a good break. Some of the other sponsors we would like to thank for making this televised portion possible. Captain's Galley of South Beloit, Illinois. Custom Bar Crafters, South Beloit, Illinois. And Everett's Liquors in South Beloit. Jack with a cross lane shot here should get the spare fairly easily. He's got it. And that gives Jack 166 in the 7th, I think.
Dean still needs to throw strikes just to put a little pressure on Jack.
Right. What you can figure, excuse me, what you can figure here, if Dean does not throw a strike, this first match is over. Nice ball. Very nice ball. As long as Dean keeps striking, he is going to force Jack Hiemel to mark in either the 9th or 10th frame. With a 204 possible, Jack has got to at least have 1 mark in one of those 2 frames. But if Dean does not throw this strike in this frame here, I'm sure the match would be over.
Yeah. Jack wouldn't even have to mark in either frame in order to beat him in.
Right. But it sure is nice to see Dean come back somewhat. That looks good if it can carry. Nice ball.
That nervousness, you got all that nervousness out of him there in those 4 frames.
I think we could probably check. We can maybe check with Dean and see if he wants to start this game in the 5th frame. I don't think he'd have any problem doing that. Well, like I say, if Jack gets a mark here in this frame or the
mark here, it's closeout time.
It should be closing. And that should do it.
First slam goes the door.
Right. It's a situation now where, with Dean being Dean could still shoot 204, which would be very respectable. Considering the start he had, he's still going to have a respectable game. Jack, even if he misses with any kind of count at all, would be in the two teens. Can strike out for 246. Mark in the 220s. Like I said, Jack Hiemel with a ton of experience. And another strike. That gives him a 230 game. Can shoot 240. He has Jack has a 6th place finish in the Daily News tournament, a 1st place finish in the Diet Pepsi. State tournament, he always bowls in that, and the Nationals, and hasn't been to them yet this year. He's got numerous 700s with a 785 high, almost an unbelievable 232 average. And that was a little bit high. Just a matter of filling out the ball game. He should be around 232, 233, somewhere in there. And Dean Sanda will finish out with a possible 204. Like I was saying, Jack has also been a U.S. Open qualifier in Rockford, Illinois, and gone on to bowl in the amateur part of the Pro Bowlers Tour. Nice ball game for Jack Hiemel, who will move on and take on our 3rd place qualifier, who is
32.
Wayne LaVelle, I believe.
Wayne LaVelle, right. From South Beloit.
Dean will finish out now. Be a little hard to believe he could throw 7 in a row here and get beat by 30 pins, but nothing wrong with that ball. Solid 10 pin. And although Dean has been beaten, he sure has bowled well today, and it's nice to see him make a comeback, Mike, in this game.
Real nice to see him make a comeback.
I don't know how many of you have ever been in that position, but
not many people have been out in front of the camera.
No,
really.
Not too many.
It takes a lot of your concentration away.
It's not a good feeling to be out in front of the camera and down 50 pins after 6 frames.
No, that's a real bad feeling.
Like I say, we have a fill ball here. Dean Sanda with a possible 183. The winner of this match, Jack Hiemel, will go on to bowl Wayne LaVelle. Dean finishing 5th. We will have our awards presentation after the championship game. Okay, a nice hand for Dean Sanda as he shoots a very tough 182 and a nice comeback. And we'll be back after a few important messages from our local sponsors. Okay, we're back at Viking Lanes with the next match between Wayne LaVelle, the 3rd place qualifier, against Jack Hiemel. Wins. First ball looks all right with a 10. Well, that might be a 10 pin, but 10 pin fell.
Here you got 2 guys with equal experience.
Yeah, this
should be a
little
tighter match. A little tighter match, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. I don't think either one of them is going to psych each other out. It'll probably be, we'll probably blow this way out of proportion right down to the last ball of the game.
Would be nice.
Right? It would be nice. That's right. Holy cow, that wasn't too bad a ball.
The only tap for a left-hander.
That's what they say. The solid 9 pin.
Solid 8.
Or excuse me,
8. That is not even the tap.
See, I was thinking right-hander. They say that ball for a right-hander is the only legitimate tap in bowling, but I think Mr. Hiemel would beg to differ with me right now. Wasn't too bad a ball. And I'll guarantee you, little breaks like that in a match like this can have a big bearing on the outcome. It's very obvious that Jack still is locked in, as we say. He's in the pocket with that nice start he had the first game, that first ball. We'd like to thank a few of the following co-sponsors for making this televised portion of this tournament possible. Jerry's Trophies in Beloit, Wisconsin, Keyhole Pro Hardware in South Beloit, and Madigo's Hair Design in Beloit, Wisconsin. There's a good ball.
Same shot as before, we got a little better break that time.
And I was told with Madigo's Hair Design that if I didn't announce that name, I'd be dead, because it happens to be the proprietor's sister. So I thought we better throw that one in there. Jack with 20 pins down in the first frame. Wayne LaVelle can take a 10-pin lead. I don't think we can say enough things about Wayne LaVelle. I can even tell you his age. He's 51 years old, and he's like wine. Oh, let up on that a little bit.
He got in a hurry, I think.
Yeah, might have hurried a little bit. But like I was saying, Wayne LaVelle is like wine. He gets better with age. It's a thrill of a lifetime to shoot an 800. Wayne got his 800 this year. Same thing with the 300, and I believe Wayne's had 2 of them.
Correct, 2.
Not a bad average, 218. How's 3 299 games sound? That's close. Nope. That might be a bad mistake. You like to shoot the spare there, but you also lost 2 4-pins in count. With a strike up, Wayne could have taken 2. He would be at 19.28 in the second instead of 24. See if those 2 pins come back to haunt him. It totals 4 pins, but 2 pins that he missed. But one thing both these bowlers can do is string strikes. And that is a little bit late. He could have got a break on that.
He made the adjustment, though.
Right, he did make the adjustment. That ball was not high by any means. And he will throw this cross lane. Some concern here with a lot of bowlers to make sure that he moves a little right on the approach and gets the ball across the lane and doesn't get hung up in the oil, because if he does, it'll go straight as an arrow.
Ooh, he pulled it. Oh, man, it slid across the oil.
He's just trying to make it exciting. He told me before he went on he was going to put on a little show on his spare shooting, because I've known him 20 years and he's always put out a show on his spare shooting, right?
Right.
Jack Hiemel with a chance to take a big lead in this game. He could move as far ahead as 25 or 30 pins. Oh, that's a little hard to believe. I guess we can say there are many reasons why you leave the 7-9. Do you have any reasons why, Michael?
Lack of fingers in the ball is usually the biggest thing. I don't know. I thought it was turning to the pocket real good.
Yeah, I did too.
It might have been just too much speed.
Yeah, very unusual out of Jack. And once again,
there's still 2 more pins.
One pin cost him 2. I think they're just trying to keep this close. That is a little unusual for Jack to throw that 7-9 pocket split, because he does turn the ball real well. And sometimes they say it doesn't matter. It's just the way the ball hits the 1 and the 2 pin at what they think might be the same time.
Very good possibility.
Causes weird things to happen back there. But it does leave an opening for Wayne LaVelle. This match really right now is within 2 pins if Wayne strikes. Ooh. This might be high. A little bit high.
Definitely tightened it up a lot that time.
I think Jack thought I'm not going to leave another one of them.
No.
Situation being Jack with 46 in the third and a good possibility for a spare here in the 4th frame. And Wayne LaVelle with 24 in the second. He can have a possible 44 in the third with a strike. That would make him 2 pins behind with the advantage to Wayne LaVelle because of a strike. Looks like spare there. And Wayne LaVelle will be coming up for his 4th frame. And in a match like this, it doesn't really matter. It's when you look at it down the road, it's just a situation where who gets hot at the right time or who has a bad break at the wrong time.
Critical part of the game, right?
Right. And both these fellows are good enough that I guarantee you one thing: if it's mathematically possible, they're not giving up.
No.
They're going to be there right to the buzzer. That looks good. That is
a lot better ball.
A lot better ball. And even though Wayne is 2 pins behind, he has the advantage from the standpoint if he strikes here, he would go +8 after 5 frames. Like I was saying earlier, Wayne LaVelle with, excuse me, 2 300 games, 3 299s, an 805 series, and averaging 218. Throws a Columbia U-Dot, and I believe that's the same ball Jack Hiemel throws, a Columbia U-Dot, who a lot of people feel is the best ball on the market. That's going to set, and advantage LaVelle by, according to pinfall, if Jack Hiemel strikes here, we will have a, help me on my math, an 8-pin match, I believe.
74 to 66, correct, 8 pins.
8 pins. It's a big ball for Jack. He can't let Wayne get too far ahead, no more than Wayne could let him get too far ahead. He swung that. He might get a, no, he didn't. I thought for a minute he was going to get a break. That'll leave him 9 pins behind with a chance Oh, yeah, that's right. He has to bowl you at the next frame. I was thinking Wayne will have the possibility of moving up 19, but we can't say that till Jack finishes. Cross lane shot at the 7-pin. Probably one of the lefty's toughest spares.
Ooh,
yep.
He pulled it.
It's just like a right-hander shooting a 10-pin.
2 frames in a row he did that.
Yeah. He did the same thing when he was shooting for that split. And I'll tell you right now, Jack needs a strike very badly right here, because if he lets Wayne get too far ahead, he probably will not look back. They're all big balls now, but this will be a big one here for Jack.
What's inside? Ooh.
Well,
again, bad break on that one. He went high before this one, and this time he let up on it and it went real high.
It's those major adjustments you have to make in a moment's time, and sometimes they just don't work. This is a very tough spare, but yet it is a possibility. If he can hit the 6-pin here, just a shade to the right, get a break and kick it over. He's going for it, but it's a little too full. Fills with 8 in the 6th frame. Well, Wayne with the string going now. I'm sure Wayne realizes that every strike he gets is going to tack on what might be an insurmountable advantage. Wayne uses all the approach. 5-step delivery. Doesn't do many things wrong. And when he gets locked in, he's tough to beat. These two gentlemen have known each other for a long time. They've bowled against each other for a long time.
Bowl Nationals on the same team together.
That's right.
Too.
They bowl in the Nationals on the same team, and I'll guarantee you they have a ton of respect for each other. And Wayne really probably isn't even looking at the scoreboard. He's just figuring as long as I keep striking, Jack Hiemel's not going to catch me.
That's the bottom line right now.
Big ball here could put Wayne ahead by 30, 40 pins. 50 pins. Whoop, and we got a break.
Little up that 10.
Yeah, the little kiss of the 6-pin laying in the channel, knocking the 10-pin out. Wayne with a possible 2-teen game, being somewhere between 210 and 214. And Jack right now would have to strike out.
It's 52 pins
for
down.
202. That ball looks better.
Well, he's in the same place that Dean was the first game.
Right.
Jack needs to throw strikes.
Right. Jack he's in a position where he has got to throw strikes. If he does strike out, he would have, I believe it would be 202. Correct. Wayne right now is sitting on, just with filling out the last 3 frames, would beat 202, but I've seen sicker dogs than this get well. Sometimes it's hard to believe you can be so far down and yet so quickly back into it.
Too bad frames and be right back to even again.
This looks high again. I think that
lane's got him fooled, I think.
Yeah, all of a sudden, after a tremendous start by Jack Hiemel, shooting a 230 game, he struggled a little bit this game.
I think the 7-9 kind of played with his mind a little bit.
Yeah, you could be right.
Didn't really know what he did wrong.
And it's a little unusual because Wayne gave Jack the opening first with the open frame in the second. Jack with a spare.
A lot better shot at the 4-pin that time.
The best possible game now for Jack Hiemel would be 182, which means Wayne LaVelle with one more strike would almost guarantee himself 190.
Just about shut him out right here.
This could be the shutout ball. Very similar to our first game.
Very similar.
Game 1 very early. That means we'll probably have a barn burner for the championship, right?
We're hoping. Shut it out.
And Mr. LaVelle is locked in right now. And Jack Hiemel's probably saying, the Iceman cometh, because I think this one's all but over. Jack Hiemel will finish 4th in this tournament, which sure isn't bad. It's tough enough just to make the finals, having to average 226 just to get there. It's a nice show by Jack Hiemel, who still has a couple frames to bowl. Wayne LaVelle will be up now in the 9th frame. We'll finish his match a winner here. And we got a 10-pin. A little bit late. That'll put Wayne in the 220s right now with a spare conversion. And like we said before, the best Jack Hiemel can do is going to be 182. But I'm sure we'll see Jack Hiemel back.
Without a doubt.
You know, when you stop and think about it, Jack averages 232 in the R&R All-Star Classic League. And for those of you people out there that are bowlers and realize they go by a 3-game series, that means that gentleman has to shoot 696 every night just to maintain his average. A lot of people don't shoot 700 in their lifetime.
Well, this match is over with anyway.
Yeah, it's over anyway, but
191.
That was only a spare, Wayne.
Wayne doesn't believe in spares anyway. He just throws strikes. That does give him 191 in the ninth. The best Jack Hiemel can do is 182. So they're just filling out the frames here at Viking Lanes. I'm sure Jack got a break there. Should be able to well, this is another one of those cross lane shots, which he should be able to convert. We would also like to thank some more of the following co-sponsors for making the televised portion of this tournament possible. Nyrie's Florist in South Beloit, Illinois, Patrick Glass in South Beloit, Illinois, and Rockford Star Games in Rockford, Illinois. We thank you very much. Jack with a spare. Possible 170 game with 3 strikes. And I'm sure Jack will be getting ready here for his trip to the Nationals and his trip to the state. He has done very well in those tournaments before, and I'm sure...
he's on a real hot streak this year.
Yes, he is. He's bowling very well.
A few scratch tournaments around the area.
He's always tough. There, he got a break. I shouldn't say he got a break, he got a kiss. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Mike Cormany for helping on the broadcast today, along with Larry Greisman, who will probably be sitting in a little bit later, and Bob Chips, proprietor manager of Viking Lanes here in South Beloit, Illinois.
Yeah, both of these guys are in for the Beloit Bowler of the Year. They're in the running for it. This tournament does count towards that.
Super ball there by Jack Hiemel. We finished with a 160. And a nice hand here from the crowd at Viking
One more
Lanes.
ball. Could finish with 170.
Sorry. I got lost. I was thinking about what you had said, Mike. I was going to mention that earlier. You're right. There's been a lot of talk prior to this tournament that if Wayne or Jack could win this tournament, they could maybe lock up Bowler of the Year. It's that close, I know, and a lot of points here.
Yes. It's a very complicated point system.
By Jack Hiemel.
Very complicated point system involved, and the higher you finish in this tournament, the more points you generate towards that.
And there are about 4 or 5 bowlers in the area that are right in the running. It's been a good year by a lot of the local bowlers. Sometimes you're glad you've got a point system to go by because it'd be awful tough to pick.
It is hard. Before this year, it was always just a...
Good ball there by Wayne.
It was a personality award. Now it's based on a point system, so it's easier to judge. Before, there was a lot of controversy.
Well, Wayne, I'm sure right now is going to fill this frame out and concentrate about his next match, who will be against Ray Grignon. Ray Grignon, probably not a household name as far as bowling is concerned, but I'll tell you, I watched this kid bowl in qualifying, and he throws a cruncher. He's tough.
He was lighting them up.
He's had a real super year. Good ball there. With a spare, Wayne will have around 211. Like I had said earlier, nice tournament by Jack Hiemel. He bowled very well, averaged about 226 to make the finals. Shot a 230 game his first match to win. And I guess really this match wasn't as high scoring as I thought it might be. As Wayne LaVelle.
You're never disappointed.
That's not a bad game for no spares. Or did he have a spare? He might have had a spare. 210.
One spare.
And we'll be back after a few important messages from our local sponsors. Okay, we're back at Viking Lanes with match 3. Wayne LaVelle, our third place qualifier, going against Ray Grignon, the second place qualifier. Both these bowlers obviously have bowled very well today. Wayne averaging around 226 to qualify for this tournament. Ray averaging around 229 to qualify. Ray will be up first on lane 16. Here's a game where we have what we might call youth against experience. Ray about 25 years old. And he throws a strike to start. Like I had mentioned earlier, Mike, I watched Ray Grignon throughout the qualifying. Doesn't seem like anything bothers him. And he throws a powerful bowling ball.
He said he was real loose. He still looks real loose,
Yeah.
even though he did come back off the lane and really took a deep breath, but that's maybe to his advantage.
Right, I think deep breath might be needed. He's got the lights in his eyes and he's saying, what am I doing here? Wayne LaVelle looks like 10 in the pit. Both bowlers strikes in their first frame.
Looks like he's not going to let up either.
No, I don't think he will. And go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
The last two winners that I think kind of relaxed a little bit after they got their first match under their belt. It was their undoing. Let's see what happens to Mr. LaVelle.
And I personally think myself that, it's nice to be the number one qualifier, but I believe firmly if I were in the position, I would rather be moving my way up the ladder. That sitting around waiting, you're getting tight a little bit. Oh, Ray's been waiting about 30 minutes. That might be high. You can see he pointed that one a little bit. No bad luck, though, with a 6-pin.
It can be a disadvantage, but then again, when you're tournament later, the worst you can finish is second.
Yeah, that's right. I suppose Nick Banno sitting back there knowing he's got 300 in his pocket, whether or not it's going to be 5. But Wayne will have to bowl cross lane here at this. I'm not making fun of him. Normally, I would say this will be an easy spare.
He's not.
I'm just kidding, Wayne.
Showing.
Oh, yeah, we got that one. I knew he could do that. It's his second spare in 2 games.
Unbelievable.
Wayne can always take the ribbing. We know that. Ray Grignon, like I had said, we may call this one youth against experience. Ray's about 25 years old, been bowling 21 years. I don't know if I was walking when I was 4, let alone bowling. But he has bowled 21 years, and he does have a 300 game to his credit. A little bit high with a break.
Gets the break.
And that's a 10-pin lead for Ray, and I'll tell you, you're going to need those breaks in a match like this. Like I was saying, 1 300 to his credit, 1 299. He says he has about 12 or 13 700s with a 763 high. Also a 217 league average. Bowls a couple nights a week. 1 here at Viking Lanes and 1 at Pulaski's in Beloit. He does a lot of things right. And that was about as good as it's going to get.
All right, looks like he's pumped up real good.
Yeah, I tell you, it's I hate to keep repeating, but for 25 years old and not in this situation very often, the kid is loose as a goose.
That's really what you have to be.
Oh, you do. You gotta
really be relaxed.
You know what they always tell you: pressure's only what you make it.
That's right. Put the pressure on yourself.
That ball looks good. Yeah, right back in there. We still got a match, fans. I'll tell you, Wayne LaVelle with 40 in the second and a strike working.
So 20 pins down, but
20 pins, right. But very, very early in the match.
A lot of match left. This has been the key frame here in the last 2 games. This is the point where the other 2
have taken off,
have dropped right down.
Yeah, this will be a big ball.
See what happens to Wayne here.
Big ball here for Wayne. Definite concentration. Good follow through. A little bit high.
Come high again.
I think he let up a little bit on that ball.
Yep. Didn't have as much speed on it as he had before.
Convert the 4-7, he'll still have a clean ball game. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank some of the following co-sponsors for making the televised portion of this broadcast possible. We'd like to thank Ron's Vacuum in Beloit, Wisconsin, John Rykowski Plumbing and Max Young Water Conditioning in South Beloit, Illinois, and Schultz's Meat Market in Beloit, Wisconsin. 2. And a spare for Wayne LaVelle. Well, this is a case here now with Ray riding 3 in a row. Possible. He throws his 4th one, he's looking at 220, where Wayne would be looking at about what we call a Dutch 200 game.
Wayne will have to start stringing some strikes together here.
Definitely. He looks like a little bit light, maybe one or two things, too much speed or not quite the lift. But I'll tell you, by no means an easy spare.
No. Very tough spare anytime you get to double wood.
Yep, he's got that 8-pin sitting there behind the 2, and if he misses his target a little bit to the left, he's going to leave the 8-pin. He swung it wide enough.
Definitely got it wide enough.
And a nice spare. By no means an easy spare, which gives Ray 77 in the third compared to Wayne LaVelle's 60 in the third. Both bowlers with spares up and a 17-pin lead for Ray Grignon.
Let's see that last one he pulled inside. Let's see if he goes back outside where he was in the frames before.
Yeah, I think he did. He left it too much in the oil. That looks wide. Yeah, that was a better ball.
A lot better ball.
Okay, a nice ball by Ray Grignon to give him 97 through 4 frames with a strike up in the 5th. Wayne LaVelle with a possibility to make the lead 17 pins. Needing to start something here to come from behind. Wayne LaVelle using all of the approach. 5-step delivery, very, very solid. Excellent bowling form. And 10 in the pin. A little can opener
Looked like
time.
looked like it was going to be real light, but still drove the 5 over.
Yeah, he definitely does one thing to the bowling ball is he makes it turn. He doesn't turn it as much as Ray turns it, but he turns it plenty. Could be a big ball there for Wayne, matching Ray's strike in the 5th frame. And a chance here with another strike to cut the lead to 7 pins. Without a doubt, the best match we've had yet tonight. Nice crowd here today also. That is 10 in the pit. And we now have the lead cut to 7 pins with Ray Grignon Jr. up on lane 15. This, I think, is going to be one of those, how do you do, right to the end.
Real important shot right here.
It's
got
wide.
it wider.
Wide, which
didn't get the break.
It sure looked good when it hit the pocket, but that's one of those cases where with the ball coming that far at that angle, strange things happen in the corners. By no means, I shouldn't say no means an easy spare, but could be tough.
Right-hander.
No, according to the situation.
Did shoot one in practice. Nice shot.
I think he thought about it before he shot it too. Ray with 117 in the 5th. I guess Wayne can take the lead with another strike, according to pin count.
Big ball for Ray now. He was in the lead, now he's behind, so let's see what happens.
We do have one happy gentleman walking around here today, Bob Chips, proprietor of Viking Lanes. Very happy with the tournament, very happy with the crowd. The tournament has been...
Send a messenger?
Oh, we almost got a break there. Very, very successful tournament. And I know Bob is very thankful to all the sponsors. He's very thankful to the Pabst Brewing Company out of Rockford, Illinois. And to all the bowlers. Big spare here is second 10-pin. Back to back.
Another spare.
It says he's 2 for 2. He must have a problem with that. He seems awful happy picking it up, huh?
Real happy picking it up. Just like any right-hander was happy to pick up the 10-pin. LaVelle has missed 2 of them, so.
Well, with a big ball, with a big strike here, Wayne can take the lead. Ray Grignon with 136 through 6 frames. This would give Wayne LaVelle probably a 1 or 2 pin lead. And
real quick with his feet.
Real quick is right. Combination of the feet and the speed.
Got the ball way down the lane. Never had a chance to get back to the pocket.
And that count will hurt him a little. puts him right on the 10-pin marker, which sometimes being 10 behind is like being 3 strikes behind if it just doesn't come out right at the end. It only sounds like, you know, the difference between 10 and 9 is 1 pin, but when it comes to strikes, it's not.
When it gets to the 10th frame, it can be a lot different.
Tough spare.
Ooh.
Tough spare. There we are with that sleeper, the bucket. Very crucial miss at this point of the ball game.
Went up the oil, the ball just slid right through the spare. Didn't finish at all.
That misconversion gives Ray Grignon a possible 22 pin lead, depending on count. Wayne LaVelle with a possible 224 game if he were to strike out. Ray Grignon sitting right now on a 216 game.
Nice man.
Oh, brother. That ball wasn't that bad.
Very bad break.
Very, very bad break at this point is right, Mike.
At this point, I think his only option is to go for the spare.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's going to have to convert the spare, which is very, very possible.
It's makeable.
You know, the way this tournament's going right now, our number 5 bowler lost to our number 4 bowler. Our number 4 bowler lost to our number 3 bowler. And right now, our number 3 bowler is losing to number 2.
Yes, he is. Turn.
Nice shot. That's what it's all about. You know, we always kid him. He can't make his spares, but he's always capable of that big shot.
Keeps him in the match. Still 20 pins down.
Clutch spare by Wayne. You could have pretty well put the coffin, lock it up or whatever you want to do, nail it. But now he's still alive.
Put the nail in his own coffin there.
Right. See how that affects Ray. I'm sure he tried to not let it bother him. Didn't bother him too bad.
I don't think it bothered him a lot at all.
No. Well, Wayne let him know he's still around, and now it's just a matter of hoping he gets a break out of Ray maybe and not having a full frame and Wayne having to strike out.
Chris Wayne can shoot his
214, you're right. If Ray stays clean.
Ray's looking at 220.
Yeah, 220 with a strike. This could come close to putting it out of sight if Wayne doesn't strike his next ball. That might be high.
Ooh.
Big break now. We just turned the tables.
Just brought the match back to even Steven.
We're going to look at a situation here where if Ray takes one, he'll be sitting on 184 in the 9th. Wayne can be even 184. He could be 184 with 2 strikes, only 10 behind. Which brings us back to that thing we were talking about on count.
On the count.
Right on the buzzer,
there
and that's tough.
There you go. Real key for Ray to take one.
That's a good move by him. That gives him 175, 184 sitting in the 9th frame with a possible 214. Right now,
Wayne can't shut him out, but he can force him to do whatever Wayne does.
Right. We're in a position where if Wayne does throw the next 4 strikes, Ray Grignon would need 3 strikes to tie. We could have our first roll-off. A 9th and 10th frame sudden death. Look out.
Key ball right here.
Oh, good ball, solid 10. Which brings us, let's see if we can figure this one out, Mike. Now it's starting to get really interesting.
Now it gets tough. Now it's 173.
So you got 203
possible.
And if he shoots 203, we'll tell you what Ray needs to do in the 10th. We'll leave it at that. How's that?
There you go.
Wayne having to shoot the 10-pin here to stay alive. And we would like to thank the following co-sponsors for making the televised portion of this tournament possible. Thiele Heating and Air Conditioning in Beloit, Wagner's Office Supply in Beloit, Wisconsin, and the amazing TNT Sports in downtown Beloit, Wisconsin.
Wayne finally shot his first 10-pin. When he really needed it, too. Now he needs 3 strikes here to put the pressure on Ray.
Yeah, no doubt. We got to have, if he gets, I'm trying to think, a strike here, 193. Say you have 193, that means
he would force Ray to mark.
Force Ray to mark, right on the button.
The key is the strike on the first ball.
Yeah, with the
bad count would almost virtually eliminate him.
Yeah. Which that 6-pin count hurt him back there.
When he didn't take any pins.
Yeah. That's not a good ball. Almost got a bad break again.
Almost got a real bad break.
Well, the way it looks right now, Ray Grignon is going to need 9 pins to win.
2 balls to 9 pins.
Yeah, which isn't too bad a position to be sitting in. If Wayne gets a spare here with a strike, would be 192. Ray with 9 pins in the 10th frame would have 193.
One thing Ray has to watch out for is the big wide split.
The big 4.
The big 4 at Greek Church.
No one here would believe it if that happened.
Oh. And Wayne is up to his old tricks again, shooting those easy spares and making them look difficult.
Well, it's a definite must, and the only chance he does have is he has to throw a strike here. And those chances aren't real good.
No.
Not of him throwing a strike, but even if he does throw a strike, it's real good of winning.
2 balls to get 9 pins.
Right. But once again, an excellent tournament by Wayne LaVelle. Bowled very well throughout the qualifying. And to finish 3rd isn't too bad.
That's the ball he needed in the 10th.
Crowd very appreciative of the bowling of Wayne LaVelle today. We have Nick Banno warming up on the sidelines over there on lanes 23 and 24, getting ready for this match. Well, you would think it's over, but we'll have to just take a minute here to find out.
We'll wait and see.
9 gives him a win.
Trusted it.
And I'll tell you what.
He almost.
I'll tell you what.
He still has to get one of these.
He still does have to get one of these.
He has to pick up one of these pins.
Which goes to show you what we were talking about earlier. When you lose count, it can really come back to haunt you. He does have to have one of these pins to win the match. I'm sure he'll try for the 7 pin.
Ooh, yes.
And a 1 pin victory. 193 to 192. There is no doubt the best match of the day. And Ray Grignon will move on to bowl our #1 qualifier, Nick Banno. And we'll be back after a few important messages from our local sponsors. Okay, back here at Viking Lanes with our final championship match between our #2 qualifier, Ray Grignon, and Nick Banno. And this is just the way it was set up to be, I guess, with, like I had said, the #1 qualifier, Nick Banno, led the qualifying. Ray Grignon was second. They were only a few pins apart a game, and maybe we'll have a game. We can't have it any closer than that last one, I guess.
Last game was real close.
Let's hope both bowlers bowl well, and may the best man win. Ray Grignon will be up first on lane 15. And a little bit light. He leaves the bucket, which is not an easy spare. Nick Banno, who bowled just super at the end of his qualifying. He started out fairly slow, averaged 251 for his last 4. Led the qualifying with a high game in the tournament up 279. Has been waiting in the wings for over an hour. And a nice spare by Ray. And both of these bowlers know each other very well. They are teammates here on Wednesday nights. So to the winner, $500. To the loser, $300. Nick Banno, very... Little weak 10 pin. He didn't get a break with kicking the 6 out of the gutter.
I think you're right about waiting, though. It's been a long, long wait for Nick. So
right, it has been.
We'll see how it affects him here. He was just red hot in the last 4 games of the qualifying.
Very solid style by Nick Banno. Very firm at the foul line. Nice spare.
Nice shot on his 10 pin.
Nick Banno from Roscoe, Illinois. He's 48 years old, doesn't look a day over 30. He is married with 4 children and has been bowling 33 years. Has a high game of 297 and a high series of 761. Thinks he shot about 25 or 30 700s.
Nick,
Nice speed. There was a lot better ball than the first one, but the same results.
Same result.
Nick throwing a blue hammer today. Has been fourth in the Daily News tournament. It is a past city tournament singles champion, second in the all events. Shooting the 10 pin. Looks like a conversion.
I'll see how Ray reacts here.
I think he's going to react just like he's reacted all day. Come back smiling and let her fly. He does use a lot of the lane. Swings it. Oh, a little bit high. You got a break there. And right now we have a tie ball game.
Real slow on that one.
Yep, real slow. 19-19. With the spare, we are even Steven.
With the two contracting styles.
Oh yeah, you're
talking one that really swings the ball. Nick goes a lot straighter.
And a nice spare by Ray. Coming up in the third frame. While we've got a little time, I would like to thank the following co-sponsors for making the televised portion of this tournament possible. Blackhawk Rental and Video in South Beloit, Brill Jewelers in Beloit, Wisconsin, Bruiser's Restaurant in Beloit, Wisconsin, and Captain's Galley in South Beloit, Illinois. I'll tell you, when that ball hits, it hits hard.
He's got his speed up. The biggest thing is he has to keep his speed up. He's covering a lot of boards where Nick goes up the board. Ray goes down, swings the ball a lot.
Well, you do have two total differences as far as bowling style is concerned, which I guess proves another point in this game. There's a lot of different ways to get there. It's just you got to choose your own way to do it.
Whole key is to knock down 10 pins.
That was a ball just like the last ball, but this time we've got 10 pins and a tie ball game.
Well, hopefully we're going to have another one of those real tight matches.
I think so too, and you've got a case here. If there's any advantage, I might give an accuracy advantage to Nick Banno from a standpoint where he's very seldom out of the pocket, although Ray sure hasn't been out of the pocket very often.
No, but Ray has the type of ball that can make a mistake real quick, where Nick is more of a straight shooter.
Nick using all the approach. 5 steps.
Hope I didn't jinx him.
Yep. Now we have it where it might go back and forth with Nick Banno answering Ray's strike with 2 strikes to see if Ray can answer Nick's strikes. Maybe just what the championship match should be. Didn't quite kick out the 5.
Got a good break, kicked the 4 out with it, though.
That should give Mr. Banno about a 10-pin advantage, give or take count. A few of the other sponsors I'd like to thank. Custom Bar Crafters of South Beloit, Illinois, Everett's Liquors of South Beloit, Illinois, Jerry's Trophies of Beloit, Wisconsin, and Keo Pro Hardware of South Beloit, Illinois. Spare conversion for Ray.
Ray's got to definitely keep his speed up here. I think he got maybe a little too fast on that last one, but his speed is his biggest thing.
Speed being very important to both bowlers, but I think Nick has a little more leeway. That's 3 or 4 times this game where both bowlers have left what we call the ringing 10-pin. Nice ball. Everything looks good, and
in fact, he went even tighter that time.
Yeah, he did.
A little more speed. Could have been the reason for the 10.
And we're about halfway through this match right now with a slight advantage to Nick Banno. Possibly as much as 10 pins.
Ooh. Oh.
An exciting 10-pin conversion.
Ball hung right there on that last board and stayed there all the way down the lane.
This could be the, I hate to say the biggest ball of the match because that's not necessarily true, but this could really put Nick at an advantage and give him as much as a 20-pin lead.
A little pressure on Mr. Grignon.
Oh, and the 10-pin. Which we should be sitting on about a 10-pin lead now, right?
You're right. Correct.
88 in the fourth with a spare compared to 78 in the fourth with a spare. A few of the other sponsors I'd like to thank. Madigo's Hair Design, Beloit, Wisconsin. Nairi's Florist, South Beloit, Illinois. Patrick Glass of South Beloit, Illinois. And Rockford Star Games of Rockford, Illinois. And we have a spare. Exactly halfway through the match.
He's really solid on them 10 pins.
Yeah, both bowlers right now are locked into what they're doing. You can tell that it's a matter of concentration, and they both know how important every spare is, every shot is. Both bowlers have bowled just super to get here. I know as you watch Nick finish his qualifying, he was just like he was a machine out there. Everything was boom, 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 pocket, pocket, pocket. Perfect ball. Solid performance by Nick Banno. Very solid bowler. Has had a lot of success out of town in bowling tournaments. Won tournaments in Jacksonville. He's won tournaments in Rockford. There was a boomer.
Ray stays right with him.
Right now, we maintain a 10-pin lead for Nick Banno. With a strike here, we're almost even.
Another exciting match.
Well, these last two have sure been good. We've had good bowlers every match, not necessarily close games, but these last two games, both bowlers bowling very well.
This is where the breaks could come into play right here. Both of them are throwing the ball good.
You're right. It could come down to just what bowler gets the break.
It's right there.
Oh! We'll still sit on that 10-pin difference.
Just didn't finish.
Excellent.
Trusted it.
Yeah. Excellent tournament here at Viking Lanes. And if anyone watching the show would like to come out and bowl, we have open bowling here at Viking Lanes at different times. All you have to do is make a phone call and they'll let you know when you can bring your family down. We have a nice snack bar facility, open bowling. Looking forward to a lot of changes this summer. They'll have volleyball for family recreation. Horseshoes. Anything you want to do, bring them down to Viking Lanes here in South Beloit, Illinois.
Come on, Nick.
Goodbye. Now we're looking at a 20-pin lead. Just sort of picking away, and I think he's going to force Ray Grignon to start to throw some strikes, or this match is going to run out of time for him.
Yeah.
A beautiful facility here run by proprietor Bob Chips, who does a nice job. He's very happy with today's crowd in the tournament, and very thankful to the Pabst distributor out of Rockford, Illinois, to help bring this tournament to everyone. And the bowlers appreciate the sponsorship. Big ball there. This looks like Nick Banno in games 5, 6 of the qualifying.
Yeah, it's just the way he finished out all 4 of the last qualifying games the same way. Swing them strikes.
He has put Ray in a position now where it is almost
imperative that he throws strikes.
Yeah, strike or go bye-bye here, I think. And I'm sure he can answer.
Ooh, a little high.
A little bit high. Okay. Let's see. Ray will be bowling the 8th frame and then the 9th. Close to 30 pins behind. 32.
Key now is to cover the spare and throw straight. Set that one up in a 10th.
Yeah, you can't think about the next frame yet until you get the spare in. Otherwise, it's history. If he misses this ball game's over.
Back out. Nice shot.
And as it stands right now, and I don't think it probably happens that often, we're sitting on a situation where the order they came in qualifying will be the order they finish. Oh, I have just been corrected. Our first match was a reverse. Jack Hiemel won the first match, and he had qualified. Big ball there by Ray.
Set up in the 10th.
Yeah, I'm
best
sorry.
rate and shoot is 216.
Yeah, you're right, 216. Right now, we're looking at Nick being in the 220s, right?
220s, he stays clean.
Stays clean, he's got the match in his hand. He throws a strike.
The strike right here about shuts the door.
Yeah, just about. Four pin. Well, I think if he
still got to shoot those spares.
If he had to pick a spare, that might be the best spare for you to shoot.
There you go. Anything on the left-hand side for a right-hander?
Yeah. Give me that or the 5 pin. And big spare here could leave him just a mark away from 220.
Right.
That's a big spare. I'd like to just let Bob Chips, the proprietor of Viking Lanes, have a few words.
Yeah, Joe, I just want to say that it's just been exciting to be part of this. I know how much pressure these bowlers had to be under doing something like this for the first time, because I know how nervous I am just watching them do it, so I can imagine what they're out on the lanes. And I just want to thank everybody involved. I don't want to mention names because I'm going to forget somebody, and I just want to thank all the spectators who showed up to give these bowlers something they really deserve.
Well, thank you, Bobby. You put on a very fine tournament. You should be complimented. I think everyone's had a good time. This is the big ball here.
Shot right here.
Holy cow, get out the snow plow. See, well, you know what they say. That wraps it up. I don't think that's exactly what he had in mind, but
got the job done.
A way of evening out. That will give Nick Banno the 2nd annual spring scratch shootout held here at Viking Lanes, the championship. He's taking a lot of resin right now on that snowplow ball, but I'll tell you one thing. 15 minutes after this tournament's over,
nobody will know the difference.
Nobody will know the difference.
Doesn't matter where it goes as long as he stays behind the foul line.
Yeah. Very happy guy right now and very well deserving of the fact that Mr. Banno bowled super throughout the tournament, led the qualifying, came down to one match, and I think he has shot the biggest match of the night,
yes,
or the biggest game of the night.
230 is the big name.
237 with a strike here over Jack Hiemel's 233 that first game. And a well-deserved championship today for Mr. Banno from Roscoe, Illinois, I believe. Or am I getting wrong?
Roscoe,
here? Roscoe,
yes.
You're right. There he is. Let's give Nick a big hand. Nice job. Fans are very appreciative of his score. Receiving congratulations from everyone here. Very happy guy. Nice shooting. And Ray has to close this out in the 10th frame. Ray, who also bowled very well all day. Nothing wrong with finishing second. Congratulates Nick Banno. Like I said, they are teammates. I bet they didn't talk each other into a split, but they're teammates.
Yeah.
Looks like Ray's going to be shooting in the 190s
here.
if he picks this up. Be 190 something. And a few of the other sponsors I'd like to thank for making the televised portion of this show possible. Ron's Vacuum in Beloit, Wisconsin. John Rykowski Plumbing and Max Young Water Conditioning in South Beloit. Schultz's Meat Market in Beloit, Wisconsin. Thiele Heating and Air Conditioning in Beloit, Wisconsin. Wagner's Office Supply. And TNT Sports in downtown Beloit. 196 for Ray Grignon. 237 Nick Banno. Nice match, great tournament. We'll be back after a few words from our local sponsors.
We've got a special award here today to a gentleman that's brought a lot to state line bowling. We hope he doesn't retire, but if he does, we wanted to make sure we gave him what we thought was our feelings here at Viking Lanes. It's presented, if we can have Mr. Orland Red Peterson down here, please. I'll try to read the plaque as loud as I can. It says, presented to Orland Red Peterson for your years of devoted dedication and accomplishments in the game of bowling and the friendship you brought to all your fellow bowlers. Thank you from Viking Lanes and friends, March 17, 1991.
Well, thanks. Really a surprise. Thanks again.
Welcome back to Viking Lanes, home of the Pabst Scratch Shootout. And we're here with the awards to be given out to our top 5 bowlers, along with proprietor Bob Chips. Viking Lanes would like to say a few things.
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate all the bowlers that were involved here today, and especially the finalists. They put on a fine show for everybody out there, and I'm glad to see the participation from the crowd. It was just great. And before I forget my thanks, I want to thank Beloit Cable TV very, very much for the fine job they did and the courtesy and the time they've given us down here. We hope to see them back next year.
Okay, we have the awards to give out. Our 5th place bowler, we have a check for $125. Dean Sanda.
Dean Sanda.
Are you close by, Dean Sanda? Okay, here comes Dean. We can slide him through the crowd here and get him out here. He's going the long way. Take a right or a left. Okay, Dean bowled very well. He averaged about 226 to make the finals. 5th place, Dean Sanda. Nice going. In 4th place, we have a check for $150 to the only left-hander in the tournament, Jack Hiemel. Okay, our 3rd place finisher, $175, Wayne Spares LaVelle. And in 2nd place, bowled very well, just $300, Ray Greisman Jr. Nice shoot. And our champion from Roscoe, Illinois, averaged very well throughout the tournament. And I'll tell you, he bowled in that championship game just like he bowled the last 4 games of that qualifying. He was a machine. Dr. Crank, that's right. $500 check. 1st place, jacket, watch. Get some security, Banno. They won't let you out of here. Nice job. Our 2nd annual Spring Shootout champion, Nick Banno, bowled very well. If we could have Nick stick around here along with Bob Chips, proprietor of Viking Lanes. Nick, I guess the only thing I can say is we watched you throughout the qualifying. You struggled a little bit the first 2 games. Looked like you really got locked in the 3rd. Any changes for the championship match?
I just got a little bit more speed on my ball to carry it, yeah. Okay. And just made sure I stayed down and followed through and got my push away where I wanted it. And I'd just like to say I do want to appreciate the tournament. Pabst did fantastic, Bobby, and everybody on the group. Cable, yes, just fantastic. It's going to be one of the best tournaments ever. And I forget the first year was dedicated to Bruno, and I'd like this one to be dedicated to Bruno too.
Thank you very much. A great champion, Nick Banno. You bowled very well. And before we wrap this up, I'd just like to say to Bob Chips, thank you for letting me be part of the broadcast. I enjoyed it. The bowlers are a class act. The house is a class act. Good job, Bob Chips.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Yeah, thanks again, everybody. I'll tell you, it's just marvelous to be involved with something like this, and I can't thank my help God bless you. Thank you very much.
And thank you. And just a reminder, if you're looking for something to do, this is where friends and family and fun meet at Viking Lanes in South Beloit, Illinois. Thanks for being with us, and good night.
You have been watching the second annual Pabst Scratch Spring Shootout from Viking Lanes in South Beloit, where friends and fun meet. Brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. Co-sponsored by these area businesses. This has been a Cablevision of Greater Beloit exclusive presentation.